Debt-free. How to stop struggling and start living the life you desire. If you're like most folks, you probably have a few debts lurking in the back of your mind, from your car note to that credit card with a low limit. Anything you can do to get those extra dollars toward paying off that credit card is going to help long term. But how exactly do you go about getting out of debt? Hello and welcome to Tom's Do-It-Yourself Investing, a channel where we discuss personal finance tips, investing guides, real estate, and the stock market. Getting out of debt can seem like an overwhelming task, especially if you don't know where to start looking. After all, it's easy to convince yourself that what feels like one little bill is the only thing holding you back from achieving financial independence sooner than later. The good news is, getting out of debt isn't nearly as difficult as it seems. With just a little bit of research and patience, you can take care of this problem once and for all. In this video, I will discuss the best tips on getting out of debt. So without further ado, let's begin. Make a plan and stick to it. When it comes to getting out of debt, one of the most important things you can do is to plan it out. This doesn't just mean setting a goal and hoping that it happens. It also means breaking down exactly what it will take to get there. So how do you do that? One of the keys is to make a plan based on realistic assumptions. Let's say, for example, that you need to save $500 per month to get out of debt within 5 years. That means that you'll need to save $6,000 per year, assuming you don't make any additional income. Now, let's say that you currently have to work at a full-time job to make ends meet. If you have any debts, that same $6,000 has to go twice as far as it would if you don't have to pay for basic living expenses. So by planning your debt repayment out, you can make sure that you won't be overwhelmed by it. If you can save $500 per month while working a full-time job, you can absolutely get out of debt within 5 years. Don't spend more than you earn. One of the most common mistakes people make when trying to get out of debt is to spend more than they have coming in. The problem with this is when you don't have a sufficient amount of income coming in, you're going to be in debt much longer than you need to be. This is because you cannot sustain a debt-free lifestyle if your income is significantly less than what's required to pay off your debts. The only way that you're going to get out of debt is if you have the money coming in to pay off those debts. And the only way to have enough money coming in is to get a high-paying job or start making extra income with a side hustle. This leads us to our next tip. Make more money. You should increase your income and use the extra income to quickly pay off debt if you're determined to pay it off as soon as possible. Think of ways to start earning more money for at least a few months, such as taking on a part-time job along with your full-time job, or negotiating a raise with your boss. Build a large savings account. Savings accounts are difficult to build, but they are essential to staying debt-free. Save for unexpected expenses by thinking of them as preparations. As a result, when medical bills or car repairs arise, you won't be concerned. A child's education or a new home are long-term expenses you might not even be planning for yet. Saving is also important for these expenses. Also, you'll be able to plan impromptu trips with the savings you saved. Your debt-free lifestyle will be threatened by unexpected costs if you don't have a big savings account. In addition to reducing your monthly payments, you will have more room in your budget to save if you don't take out loans. Set up an automatic payment schedule. While it's incredibly important to save up as much money as you can before you start earning money, it's equally vital that you automatically set up a monthly payment schedule for any debts that you have. This way, you won't have to stress yourself out when it comes to the payments. For example, if you have a car loan, you can automatically set up a payment plan that takes out a payment every month. This way, you won't have to think about it and can focus on other things. Likewise, you can set up direct debit payments for any other debts that you have. This way, you're not going to have to worry about missing a payment and having it go on the debt repayment timeline. Estimate your monthly payment for each debt. With all of your debts, it's important to calculate how much you'll be paying each month. This way, you'll know how much time you have until you get out of debt. Because, let's be honest, when you're trying to take care of this stuff, you're probably going to be busy. And since there's no way around it, you might not have the time to devote to this stuff. A good way to estimate how much you'll be paying is to look at your monthly expenses and see how much you can cut back on to pay off your debt right away. There's no sense in taking on extra expenses when you're trying to get out of debt. Use the debt snowball method. The debt snowball method for paying off debt is a great way to save money and put more cash in your bank account. This method involves paying off debt from smallest to largest, gaining momentum as each balance is knocked off. The smallest debt payment is rolled into the second smallest debt payment when the smallest debt payment has been paid in full. The snowball method is a great way to get your finances under control because it forces you to pay off debt one step at a time. Use the debt avalanche method. This is an alternative option to the debt snowball method. This is a type of debt repayment plan that accelerates repayments. In this method, it is common for a person to allocate sufficient money for each source of debt. Then, allocate any remaining repayment funds to the debt with the highest interest rate. The debt avalanche method transfers extra repayment funds to the debt with the next highest interest rate after the debt with the highest interest rate is repaid in full. It continues until all debts have been repaid. This is also a great way to get your finances under control. Stop buying stuff you don't need. Another tip that will help you get out of your debt is to stop buying things that you don't need. You shouldn't tempt yourself with window shopping or trips to the mall for leisure if you know you tend to splurge on non-essentials. Spending without purpose leads to aimless wandering. Choose alternative, pocket-friendly ways to unwind, like walking in the park, visiting the library, or having a potluck with friends. Make a list and stay laser-focused when you go to the grocery store. Improve your credit score. Making small but steady payments to your credit score can have a big impact on your overall debt. That's because a strong credit score is an important factor in determining whether you qualify for the best interest rates. A good credit score is any number between 670 and 739. The higher scores indicating better creditworthiness. To increase your score, you can take steps such as maintaining a minimum credit card balance and avoid serious delinquencies like late credit card payments. But even small improvements can add up over time. So don't hesitate to take whatever steps you can to improve your score. The benefits will soon be worth it. Use your tax refund check to pay down debt. Instead of spending that tax refund check on an expensive item or going on a vacation trip, it would be better to start paying off your debt. Think about the benefits of reducing your monthly debt payments with a lump sum payment plan. It will be more rewarding over the long run to have a light debt load, rather than to enjoy the short-term satisfaction that comes with a purchase now. Cash in your life insurance policy to pay down debt. You may be able to pay down larger amounts of debt faster by cashing in your life insurance policy. It makes sense to use your life insurance funds to pay off debt if you are drowning in debt and don't have beneficiaries such as a spouse or children. Life insurance policies with term coverage are not covered by this strategy. A whole life policy with built-up cash value is the only one that works. The cash value of your whole life policy may also be able to be tapped for debt reduction while leaving some proceeds to your loved ones, even if you do have beneficiaries. Negotiate with your creditors. Finally, if you're stuck in some kind of debt that you just can't seem to get out of, consider negotiating with your creditors. This could be an extension on your repayment period, a lower interest rate, or a payment plan. By doing so, you're essentially lowering your monthly payment so that it's easier for you to get out of debt. If you have a good payment history and good account standing, you'll be surprised at how many creditors are willing to help you. This is a great way to make things a lot easier for yourself and to help get out of debt. So we discussed some major strategies and tips that would help you get out of debt. If you have anything that you would like to add to this list, feel free to comment below. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask them and I will get back to you. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and don't forget to share the knowledge with those who might need it. I will be back with more videos. Until then, take care and stay tuned.